What's up, YouTube? It's another day with the one and only Billy J. And for our first review on Flashback Friday, it is our review of All Quiet on the Western Front, which won the Best Picture, or Best Production as it was known back then, but it won the Best Picture for 1930. And it was directed by Lewis Milestone. And the movie is based off a book by the same name. And this movie is a war movie. But this isn't a movie that kind of glorifies war. It's a war movie that shows you the terrors and realities of war and what happens to the people. And this movie takes place during World War I, and it shows the side of the Germans. And of course it takes place on the Western Front of the war, which is on the French side. And it mostly centers around a soldier called Paul Baumer, played by Lou Ayres. And at the beginning, Paul is a student at a school, and he is inspired to join the military by a rousing and inspiring speech by the teacher. And the teacher talks about the glory of war and how glorious and honorable it would be to fight for the fatherland. So Paul and all his classmates go and join the military. And they go off to basic, and after basic they go to the front lines, where they meet a guy named Cat, and he shows them the ropes of being on the front lines, down in the trenches. And throughout the movie we see the true horrors of war. We see these young boys go crazy with what we would call today PTSD, but back in the day they called it shell shock. We see soldiers lose limbs and even lose their lives. And we see the stark difference of life from obviously the front lines down in the trenches to back at home, and how there's this big gap of reality. When Paul goes home on leave and goes to a bar with his dad and his dad's friends talk about the glory of war and how they should invade this town and march all the way to Paris. And they kind of brush off Paul's comments when Paul was like, you guys don't know what it's like, down in the trenches on the front lines. They brush him off and say, you don't know nothing about war. But boy, oh boy, does Paul know about the war. Overall, I felt the movie was a very good movie. It was beautifully acted and one of the all-time great war movies. Granted, it was made back in 1930, and unlike today's movies, it didn't show all this blood and gore and people dying all the time with their blood and guts shooting out and spilling out. But to me, it portrayed death and war pretty believably. And if you like the more recent movie called The Hurt Locker, I believe you'll actually like this movie as well. They both share a lot of the themes of war. I give All Quiet on the Western Front 9.2 out of 10. Currently, it holds a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes and an audience score of 89%. Have you seen All Quiet on the Western Front? Leave a comment down below and let me know. And remember, peace, love, unity, respect. Peace out, guys.